Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely. Always ready to explore.
Awesome. Well, today we're going to uncover the incredible journey of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I bet you know him as India's missile man, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the name that comes to mind first.
For sure. But trust me, there's so much more to his story. This deep dive goes way beyond just the missiles. We'll explore the man behind the title, relying on this super detailed biographical summary that's actually in another language.
Wow, so we're getting some exclusive insights here.
Absolutely. You'll discover how a kid who sold newspapers ended up leading India's space and nuclear programs. Talk about inspiration.
That's quite the journey. Where does it all begin?
Well, it all starts in this small town called Ramswaram in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, got it.
Imagine, like, young Kalam growing up in this family, not wealthy, but super focused on hard work, discipline, and education, those core values.
Those are some solid foundations. You can see how that shaped him.
Exactly, and you can see it so early on.
Mm-hmm.
Picture this, young Kalam helping his family, selling newspapers. Like, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, working hard from a young age definitely builds character.
Totally. But it wasn't just about, working hard. He had this crazy thirst for knowledge, especially about science and math.
The building blocks of engineering and, missile technology too.
Right. So that's where this incredible teacher comes in, Shiv Subramania Iyer. This guy, he saw something special in Kalam, ignited his curiosity, encouraged his love for those subjects.
It's amazing how one teacher can have such a huge impact.
It really is, right? But, even with all that drive, Kalam still faced setbacks.
Oh, really? I thought his path was, pretty straightforward.
Well, get this. He actually dreamt of becoming a pilot.
A pilot? Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but he missed it by a hair.
Yeah.
You believe that? Placed 9th in the Indian Air Force selection, and they only had 8 spots.
Ouch. That's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, imagine the disappointment, right? But here's the thing, Kalam. He didn't let it define him.
So what did he do?
He switched gears. Focused on physics at St. Joseph's College first. Then, boom, aeronautical engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology, MIT.
So maybe that early setback actually led him to his true calling.
Right. It's like it steered him towards a different path, a path where his scientific talents could really shine.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
So after graduating, he initially worked at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL.
HAL, okay.
But let's be real, his heart was really in research and development, pushing the boundary.
Good cutting edge stuff.
Exactly. And that's where the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, comes into play.
DRDO, all right, I'm following.
At DRDO, you won't believe this, one of his first projects was designing hovercraft.
Hovercraft, that's pretty cool.
Right. But, his talents, they didn't go unnoticed. He's quickly transferred to the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO.
ISRO, things are getting serious now.
You think. Now picture this. You're tasked with developing India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle, the SLV-3.
Whoa, the pressure, the challenges, that's a huge responsibility.
I can only imagine, right? So for those of us who aren't rocket scientists, could you break down why building the SLV-3 was such a massive deal?
Sure. So launching your own satellite into space, it's not just about, being good at tech. It's a statement. In 1980, when that SLV-3 successfully launched the Rohini satellite, that was India entering this space race, the big leagues.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
It was huge, a symbol of self-reliance, proof of Indian ingenuity, and a major boost to their global standing.
Makes sense. So this achievement, it basically catapulted Kalam to lead the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, the IGMDP. And this program, let me tell you, it was ambitious, developing a whole array of missiles. Prithvi, Agni, Trishul, Akash, Nag. Each one designed for a specific purpose, range, and target. It's incredible.
It wasn't just about building missiles, though, right? It was about building a strong and secure India.
Definitely. But with all these different types of missiles, what were some of the standout ones? What was their impact?
Well, let's take the Prithvi missile, for instance. Prithvi means Earth, and it was a surface-to-surface, short-range ballistic missile. It basically changed the game for India's battlefield defense.
So a major defensive boost.
Exactly. And then you have the Agni missile series, Fire. These provided India with intermediate range to intercontinental ballistic missile capabilities. That means a much greater defense reach.
So not just reaching for the stars, but also building up national security. And this is all happening during the 80s and 90s, a time of massive global change and tension.
A really pivotal time.
Which leads us to another chapter in Dr. Kalam's journey, India's nuclear program.
Right, that's a big one.
In 1998, India conducted a series of nuclear tests. They called it Operation Shakti. And Dr. Kalam was essential in this historical event. This event, well, it really changed India's place in the world. Just think about that responsibility, the knowledge that your work could reshape the entire global landscape.
That's some serious weight on your shoulders.
It's mind-blowing. So, what was the world's reaction? How did this event change India's standing on the international stage?
Oh, the world definitely noticed, that's for sure.
I bet.
There were some countries that were, a bit worried, naturally.
Right.
But others, especially those who saw India as kind of balancing things out with some other powerful countries in the region, they understood more.
Makes sense.
But one thing was crystal clear. India was now a nuclear power, a force to be reckoned with, no doubt.
It's like everything shifted after that.
It really did. The balance of power changed and how countries interacted with each other. It was all different. And for a lot of people in India, it was this huge moment of national pride. Their country had arrived on the world stage,
It's like a coming out party in a way.
Exactly. And this all ties back to Kalam's vision, this idea of a self-reliant India. He wasn't into building missiles or doing these tests just because, it was cool. It was all part of a bigger plan.
He was playing the long game.
Exactly. He saw it as this crucial step to being independent when it came to technology, not relying on others.
Taking control of their destiny, basically.
Yeah, but his vision went beyond just defense and tech stuff. He truly believed that real strength came from a nation that was, advanced in science, doing well economically, and fair to everyone.
Oh, a well-rounded approach.
Absolutely. And he thought education was the key to making all that happen.
Education unlocks potential, for sure.
For sure. And that brings us to this really interesting part of Kalam's journey, one that might surprise you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
In 2002, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the scientist, the engineer, the missile man, he became the 11th president of India.
Wow, that is unexpected. Scientist turned politician. That's quite the career change.
Right, but it wasn't just any old presidency. Kalam wasn't your typical politician.
So what made him different?
Think about it. You have this guy who's incredibly respected for all his scientific work, his humility, and his unshakable belief in India's potential. He became known as the people's president because he just had this way of connecting with everyone, from all walks of life, especially young people.
I've heard he had this genuine warmth, a humility that just drew people in.
Absolutely. He wasn't just some figurehead, sitting in an office. He was actively involved in shaping the country's future.
So how did he use his position to make a difference?
He constantly pushed for science, technology, and education, using his platform to advocate for those things.
Putting his money where his mouth is.
Exactly. He knew that real progress meant a holistic approach. It wasn't just about fancy tech. It was about fixing social and economic issues, too.
So lifting everyone up together.
Exactly. He believed in giving every citizen the power to contribute to India's growth.
Empowering people from the ground up.
Right. And he didn't just talk the talk. He was out there meeting students, visiting schools, engaging with people at a grassroots level.
It's one thing to give speeches, but actually going out and connecting with people, that's powerful.
Totally. Imagine your president just showing up at your school or university and giving you this pep talk about following your dreams and aiming high.
That would be pretty amazing.
That was Kalam. He was famous for these motivational talks, inspiring tons of young people to reach their full potential.
And speaking of dreaming big, one of his most famous quotes is, "Dreams are not those that we see while sleeping. They are those that do not let us sleep." Powerful stuff, right?
It's so true. And it really sums up his belief in the power of aspirations. He knew that dreams aren't just some fantasy. They drive us forward, both personally and as a society.
It's what pushes us to do better.
Exactly. And that leads us to Kalam's big vision for India, something he laid out in his book, India 2020.
So what was this India 2020 all about? What was his vision for a developed India?
Well, it wasn't just about, having a strong economy. Kalam pictured a total transformation across every sector: science, technology, agriculture, infrastructure, healthcare, education, you name it.
A complete overhaul.
Exactly. He saw it as a call to action for everyone in India, urging them to work together toward this amazing future.
A collective effort.
Yes. Now, we know that India didn't quite hit that fully developed status by 2020, but, the date wasn't the main point.
It's more about the journey, man.
Exactly. The important thing was the impact of his vision. It gave people energy, instilled hope, and sparked this passion for progress that's still alive today.
So even though that target date has passed, his ideas still resonate.
Absolutely. The core principles of Kalam's vision, things like self-reliance, technological advancement, and inclusive development, they're still incredibly relevant. They continue to inspire policymakers, entrepreneurs, and especially young people to strive for a better future for India.
A legacy that lives on.
Definitely.
So we've talked about a lot here. Rockets, missiles, nuclear tests, even a presidency. It's been quite a journey. But what does it all mean? What can we take away from the extraordinary life and work of APJ Abdul Kalam?
Well, on a personal level, Kalam's story shows us that anyone, even someone from humble beginnings, can achieve amazing things.
It's about defying the odds.
Yes. He had setbacks, he faced challenges, but he never gave up on his dreams. It's inspiring, right? He showed us that with enough hard work, perseverance, and dedication to your goals, you can really achieve anything.
It's a powerful message for sure. But it goes beyond personal success, doesn't it? Kalam's legacy is also about his vision for India, a stronger, more self-reliant India.
Oh, absolutely. He believed that science and innovation could solve problems and make life better for everyone.
He wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo.
Not at all. He pushed boundaries and inspired generations to think bigger, to aim higher.
And throughout his whole journey, one thing stayed constant. His belief in the potential of young people.
He really did. He often called himself a teacher, and he truly saw education as the key to a brighter future.
It's like he had this gift, you know? He could connect with students and make complex things like rocket science seem exciting and understandable.
He brought science to life, using stories and real-life examples to make it relatable. Imagine learning about flight not from a textbook, but from the guy who helped design and launch rockets into space.
That would be mind-blowing.
Right. Kalam encouraged students to question everything, to explore, to think outside the box. He wanted them to be the ones shaping the future.
And it wasn't just about science and tech. He also stressed the importance of values, ethics, being responsible members of society.
He wanted young people to be well-rounded, capable of making a real difference in the world.
That's what makes his legacy so powerful. It's not just about the missiles or the nuclear tests. It's about what he stood for, the millions of lives he touched with his words and actions.
He left an undeniable mark.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the life of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, we want to leave you with something to think about. What part of his story speaks to you the most? And how can you use his lessons, his work ethic, his determination, his never-ending optimism to reach your own goals and aspirations?
Kalam's life shows us the incredible power of dreams and the importance of never giving up. No matter where you come from or what obstacles you face, you have the potential to change the world.
So dream big, work hard, keep learning, and remember Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's words. Dreams are not those that we see while sleeping, they are those that do not let us sleep. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey, everyone. Until next time.